MLS Next Pro action today in Kissimmee, Florida at the Osceola Heritage Park as the push to the postseason continues. It's Orlando City B in the Eastern Conference taking on New England Revolution 2, with both teams trying to make some late season magic happen, just steps away from where it all happens at Walt Disney World. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Of course, New England playing the role of spoiler today, one of the few teams eliminated from playoff contention coming into this week's action. Orlando City B are right in the thick of things in the Eastern Conference playoff push. They begin today's proceedings sitting in 7th place in the Eastern Conference. And it's not a mathematical must-win for them, but it might as well be because there's so many teams on their heels in the Eastern Conference table. Most notably, Miami, their in-state rivals, just a point back, but Chattanooga, Carolina Core, and of course, Toronto, who are in the process of picking up a huge win at the moment over New York City, are also right in striking distance still of Orlando City B, who have just 3 games remaining in their regular season, including this game tonight. So it's a game Orlando City B really have to have if they are going to make the playoffs. Here are the starting lineups for both teams. Manuel Goldberg's starting 11 for Orlando City B sees another start for Jack Lynn, who of course was a Golden Boot winner a season ago. Shaq Muhammad leads the side with 11 goals. He'll be part of the attack as well. But some critical cogs in the midfield. Imanol Almaguer and John Solis will be very, very important. Alex Freeman, who's also been a pivotal part of Orlando City B's success, gets the start at right back, and Luca Petrasso, his opposite number at left back, has also been very impactful throughout the season for Orlando. On the other side of things, for Richie Williams' New England side, winless in their last 11. They love nothing more than to break that here tonight. Marcos Diaz leads the side with 9 goals and 5 assists. Maciel has been really, really strong these last couple of games. Malcolm Fry, who's playing at left back today, that's not a misprint. He's been playing out of position. Richie Williams has said that they want to have some guys play out of position due to, of course, a necessity, but also to make the most out of those absentees that they've had at times throughout this season. Well, these two have had some memorable fixtures in MLS Next Pro over the years. Of course, these are two teams that used to be meeting in USL League One games way back when. In the MLS Next Pro era, New England has been the dominant team in this series. Orlando's going to have to change the tide there if they are to stay in a comfortable position heading into the final 2 match days for them in this MLS Next Pro season. It's worth reiterating, it's not a mathematical must-win for Orlando, but it's the next biggest thing. A win for Orlando keeps them in a playoff spot for now, with work to do in their final 2 games of the regular season. So it's pretty much a must-have. Orlando City B today. New England playing the role of spoiler and trying to finally get a victory. They have been winless since June 14th when they picked up a 1-0 victory over New York Red Bulls 2. Richie Williams would love nothing more than to see his side break that streak today. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us on MLSNextPro.com. Alejo Kalume is our head official. He is in pink with the black shorts. Orlando are in purple, and New England are in their road whites with the red shorts. Well, Orlando are coming into this one back-to-back wins. Orlando City B have actually won 4 of their last 5 in the league, and it's propelled them into this playoff spot. The lone defeat is a 5-2 loss in New York at the hands of NYCFC2, a rare defeat against the City Boys for Orlando, who tend to do very well in that fixture. Early touches here for Eric Klein, who's also going to be a calming influence, Richie Williams hopes, in the middle of the park. Nearly a turnover there. It's going to roll out a play. It's a goal kick after Yutaro Sukada Just making sure that there wasn't an opportunity there to jump onto. Last time out for Orlando, they were really impressive. September 8th, exactly a week ago. They beat Crown Legacy by 4-1. A brace for Alex Freeman. Sheikh Mohammed also on the score sheet. And a lovely return goal to MLS Next Pro for Jack Lynn. Of course, has lit the league on fire in the last couple of seasons, but has gotten a lot more first-team action with the Orlando City organization this season. But he's back down to help in the push to the playoffs. Flipped up ahead by Malcolm Fry. And it'll be comfortable in the end. Carlos Mercado, who gets the start for Orlando in goal today, resets the play. The last meeting between these two, you actually have to go back almost exactly a year ago. September 7th, 2023 was a 1-1 draw. Jack Lynn scored in that game, Orlando City B, but New England did win on penalties, 3-2 from the spot. Chance here maybe for Orlando to come up on this far side. Threading the needle through into the middle, looking for Sheikh Mohammed. And he tried to help it along for Jack Lynn. Max Weinstein is there for the Revs. We've had 2 games go final already in MLS Next Pro. We had a 9-goal thriller between Atlanta and Huntsville. Huntsville, another team that's already eliminated, but that didn't stop them from putting up half a dozen in that game. Oh, that's a ricocheted clearance. It's going to go out of play, and it's going to be a corner for New England. Orlando saying that that came off a New England player. We get the luxury of a second look. Awkward moment here. Well, the replay looks like it does come off of Alex Freeman. Thomas Williams with not the most definitive of clearances there. And Richie Williams' side will get a corner on the near side. The other game that just finished up, we talked to you about it briefly earlier, Toronto giving their postseason hopes a jolt, a 3-0 win over New York City. Cross comes in here, Orlando City trying to clear this, not definitively yet. Now they move it forward. And they could have some numbers here in transition, but that pass was behind Mohammed. It was cut out by Gavork Diarbian. Near side Maciel, who's been in good form. Diarbian clipping one towards the back stick, and there's nobody there for New England. It was Cristiano Oliveira who he was trying to aim for. It didn't quite get to him. Orlando looked to come up the other direction here, but too many white shirts will force a swift retreat. And there's just so many scenarios for clinching possibilities this weekend, and of course other teams fighting for postseason berths like Orlando, or just fighting to stay in the fight. The likes of Minnesota and others trying to keep their postseason hopes alive. Colorado as well, trying to stay in it. The bottom of the Western Conference table, just to give a few examples of games later on tonight that mean quite a bit. Cincinnati has a chance to clinch. Philadelphia has a chance as well. Minnesota has to go to St. Louis and pick up a win to stay alive. Kansas City's trying to stay in the hunt with Colorado. They meet later on. Whitecaps too really needs a result against the Town. We're trying to close in on a playoff spot as well in the West. It's all kicking off in these final few weeks of the season, as you see that challenge there. Referee does give New England the possession. Here's Diarbian. Maciel. Maciel was covered in the middle of the park. Solis helping out defensively, but Marcos Diaz tries to keep it going. He's had 14 goal contributions this season. Marcos Diaz, he's been a really bright light. It's been a very tough season for Revs too. Of course, New England got so close to making it to the MLS Next Pro final a season ago, and this year they've been pretty much bottom of the East for a majority of the season. after they had a bright start, but, well, games like this have actually been New England's bugaboo this season. All 4 of their wins have come at home, where they've been respectable this season, it must be said. But on the road, no wins, 11 defeats, and just 1 draw this season. That's been the Achilles heel for Revs 2, if you look at the form as far as where they've played the games. And it's so rare in Next Pro that you see that, really. And New England are actually the only team in Next Pro without a road win this season. Richie Williams' side is hopeful that that can end tonight. Near side, it's Malcolm Fry. A push and a chase for Gavork Diarbian. And I'll tell you what, it is wonderfully defended by Alex Freeman, who continues to have a wonderful season himself in MLS Next Pro. He's had some really solid defensive performances throughout the season, and well, it should be mentioned as well that Alex Freeman has 13 goal contributions, 6 goals, and a whopping 7 assists this season. Talk about a well-rounded player. Alex Freeman has been a wonderful star for Orlando this season, along with the likes of Mohamed, Sukada, and others. They've had to pick up the slack for Jack Lynn, of course, has gone on to the first team quite a bit. He scored in MLS play this season. That was a wonderful moment for him. It'll be interesting to see going forward, if Jack Lynn continues to be part of this group, how those attacking pieces gel together. Now then, this is Solis for Orlando. Freeman joins in, but it's beautifully defended by Malcolm Fry. Again, that's not Malcolm Fry's normal position, but Richie Williams has asked some of the players like Fry to go in and play out of position to try to help the cause and have a positive ending. It's been a difficult season. He said it's a challenge, Richie Williams. We talked to him earlier this week and said guys have to be flexible, and we're just trying to make the most out of it at the moment with guys being out. And he said the results-wise recently, this New England group, it has been better. They've been able to be a little bit more consistent, but they're still trying to pick up those 3 points. And he said at times we've been better than our oppositions recently, and so the expected goals is there, but sometimes we haven't been taking the chances. We've been missing some attacking moments, and been other periods of time where New England have defended well, but have made some mistakes that have allowed teams to take advantage and get results for themselves. And you look at New England's last game against Toronto. It finished in a 2-2 draw. Marcos Diaz had a brace, and New England did win on penalties, but that was a game where New England had a lead, and Toronto were able to come back and get a point. Just another result of New England not quite being able to defend for a full 90 minutes. Richie Williams added, you know, these are games down the stretch where the players have to take advantage of these opportunities. These are pro games with a lot on the line for the players individually and still for the team as a group, even though the playoffs are gone. And similarly to the players playing out of position, wants his team to make the most of this finish to the regular season. This portion of the match is brought to you by Orlando Health. Choose well. There's Oliveira under some pressure there for New England. Switching point of attack to this near side. Malcolm Fry is there, keeps it in play. Santiago Suarez helping the back line move this forward. Souza is actually returning from a long-term injury in this one today. Victor Souza is making his first start since he suffered an injury back on June the 1st of this year, so it's wonderful to see him back. And look at the squad as well. Colby Quinones is on the bench. He returns from time with the Puerto Rico senior national team. Alex Modis is on the bench. He returns from time with the Philippines senior national team as well. And Olger Escobar, who's making some waves with the Guatemalan national team fighting in CONCACAF Nations League play. He's back with the group as well, also getting a spot on the bench. So some of the depth for Richie Williams has returned, and those are three really talented players. Throw in Souza as well, who also has a bright future ahead of him if he can stay healthy. That's a lot of firepower back and a lot of depth back in this New England group, which will provide Orlando, you'd think, with a pretty stiff test today. Kibunguchi helping things out defensively. Freeman played up ahead. DRBN stops Freeman in his tracks for now. Centering pass for Shaq Mohammed. It opens up on the far side here briefly for Orlando. Luca Petrasso has time and space to work with. It's played back at the end. Imanol Almaguer is also a pivotal cog in this Orlando City B midfield for Manuel Goldberg's side. Scored a lovely goal a few games back at New York City. Give and go, and he just kind of scooped it past the goalkeeper. That helped Orlando get back into that game at the time, but New York City put them to the sword those final few minutes. I mentioned New York City earlier. They missed a huge opportunity to jump up in the standings earlier today, but give credit to TFC2. What a win that was for Toronto, and Gianni Cimini's group are continuing to try to make some late waves here, push to the postseason. They still have plenty of work left to do. But my goodness, could they put together a great run here at the end and make something interesting happen. They showed again today how capable that group is. It's out to the far side here for New England. It's Joshua Bolma trying to slip it through. That was a chance for a cross from Oliveira. He wins a corner for the Revs on the far side. Just took our first peek at the live table in MLS Next Pro. Orlando currently up to 5th, but again, if they were to just get 1 point or even just 2 points, that does leave the door slightly ajar for the likes of Miami, Chattanooga, Carolina Core, and others, Crown Legacy as well, to track them down. That cross is fizzed in there. It did take a nick on the way through. And another New England corner is upcoming. "15 minutes gone, still looking for our first big chance." From the corner, it's a good header away by Jack Lynn. DRBN tracks it down for a New England reset. It's played back for Demario McIntosh, who's really impressed Richie Williams and the staff for New England throughout the entire season. I remember even in the opening weeks of the season how impressed Richie Williams was in Demario McIntosh's demeanor, his work ethic, and his soccer IQ, and just his execution on the pitch, and that's continued to get better throughout the season. As Fry tries to get at Alex Freeman, he wins a corner. Again, you might look at the table and see New England down there and think, wow, where have the positives been? But there have been positives for this group. It's just not been the results that they typically expect. That did come off of Gavork Diarbian. Good spot by the referee to correct the decision there, and it is a goal kick, rightly so. Have to give the referees credit, where in real time they can adjust a decision to being correct there. Leo Kalume deserves the kudos for that. Solis ends up going onto the ground, and I do think the whistle did go, so it is going to be a free kick in front of the Orlando City B technical area. here in Kissimmee. Williams marauding forward. He's dispossessed. Early ball back in, and Kibonguchi is there to get a head onto it. Mohamed's reverse ball. Freeman with a chance to move it ahead. Mohamed wants to slow it down just a tick. Freeman and Mohamed. 1-2s between them. A little slip there from Kochevsky. Orlando keep it through Imanol Almaguer. Petrasso up ahead. It's dispossessed. Quickly won back though by Sukada. Trying to thread the needle there to find Freeman, but DRBN resets from Malcolm Fry. Here's Eric Klein. Floating one out to the far side, and it's going to be held on to by Demario McIntosh. Ball is clipped onto the near side. Again, it's DRBN. Freeman is on him. DRBN looks for help. Klein is available. Good pick out to find Maciel. Could be a chance here for New England. They're in behind. Ball played across. No chance to really get a shot away. Klein follows up. And it does take a ricochet out for another New England corner as their positive beginning continues. This is a lovely ball. Maciel on a plate. McIntosh had two players to aim at. It didn't fall for either of them. Fry was in the area as well. And Eric Klein had his shot blocked out of play. Nearly 20 minutes gone here, and it's been New England looking like the team more desperate at the moment. And from the corner, it was a free header. And it goes over the top from Marcos Diaz. Huge chance for the Revs to take the lead. New England's leading goal scorer was unmarked inside the penalty area, but can't make Orlando pay for it. Nearly his 10th goal of the season, but not to be in the end for Marcos Diaz. There was a leap in front of him. I wonder if that maybe put him off in the end, but Orlando City B are thanking their lucky stars as a rash challenge comes in here. Free kick for Orlando, and it is going to be a yellow card for Demario McIntosh. We get a second look. He's actually pulling the
yellow card has been issued.
Hit initially, and then it's a poor tackle after that. McIntosh bringing down Yutaro Sukada. Referees all over it. It's a booking. So an early yellow card here for McIntosh. You could see why he made the challenge. Didn't want Orlando to break in transition, but he does pay the price for it as far as the booking is concerned. Was not going to get away with that. And Orlando still looking for their first big moment in the attack. Jack Lynn is certainly a big provider of those over the years. He lays it off, and the shot is blocked out for an Orlando corner. Sukada taking aim. Set piece upcoming for the youngsters here, the Lion Cubs, as some call them, Orlando City B. Well, opportunity knocks here for Orlando. And a game that's the utmost importance for them in their playoff push. It's a high arcer. Petrasso was closest to it for Orlando City B. It's going to bounce out of play. And New England are perplexed, but it has been given as another Orlando corner. Take it from this side. Can be Imanol Almaguer. Look to line this one up. Almaguer's ball in. He's headed down. It is comfortable in the end. Weinstein collects. New England will look to push ahead once more. This portion of the match is brought to you by Inter & Co., your next financial super app, an official financial institution of Orlando City. Here's Malcolm Fry. Oliveira. Time and space here for Maciel. He finds McIntosh on the far side. McIntosh tried the reverse ball for Oliveira. It was cut out. An offside flag is going to go up against Gavork Diarbian. That'll end the sequence for the Revs. Of course, this fixture today is between two teams that were in the playoffs last season. Orlando finished on 46 points. They had 13 wins. A season ago, they finished in 5th in the East, just ahead of Chicago and Philadelphia, who just snuck in on the last day ahead of New York and Huntsville. Of course, New England finished in 2nd in the East a season ago. We talked about it. They got all the way to the Eastern Conference Final. But a late Gibran Rayo goal at Gillette Stadium saw Columbus Crew too. Then the defending champions retain the Eastern Conference crown and go back to the final. But they did lose, of course, to Austin. Orlando's attempt here. Sukana was looking for an angle for the shot. Kolchevsky out wide. It's closed down nicely in the end. I think that was Bulma on the defensive work, and he tries to follow up. Kolchevsky again keeping it alive. Petrasso, Richie Williams and company were looking for a handball there, and they do get the decision. It is a New England free kick. Weinstein has to be careful there. Pressure from Lynn. Malcolm Fry on the turn. Brilliant turn past Kolchevsky. Time and space here for Malcolm Fry. This is where he can be at his best. No one's closing Fry down. Now they do. Diarbian's played in. It's forced to go back to Eric Klein. That was promising for a moment. It still could be. Maciel. Fry for Diarbian. It's Marcos Diaz. His left boot in a tight bit of quarters there. And it goes wide of the target. Second chance for Diaz to get on the score sheet here. He's a right-booted player. With his off left, and it did fly wide of the frame. Freeman. New England now heaping the pressure up. Vangucci gets it away. Does concede possession to Souza. Here's Maciel. It's Bulma! And it wasn't far away. Well, it took a deflection on the way through. It is going to be a corner. Look at this effort. Bulma with a belter of a strike. And Mercado was certainly interested in that. Not sure he got a touch. But it is going to be a corner for the Revs on the near side. It's taken short for Diarbian. Maciel, it's a different angle, and then it's cut out by Lin, who's been strong defensively. Orlando City B, but then can't link up on the pass. And New England can build once again. Of course, there's so many different scenarios that can play out throughout this match week. Of course, we already saw a couple clinches. Tacoma, LAFC have clinched playoff spots. Ventura County needed a few results to go their way to clinch. They'll have to wait until they next play to have a chance to shore up a playoff spot in the West. I mentioned it earlier, Colorado and Minnesota have to win to make sure they stay alive another week. And the Town, they also have a chance to clinch a playoff spot as this is looped in behind. Offside flag is up. It's Oliveira. The referee will allow play to continue. In the East, Philly and Cincinnati are still trying to clinch playoff spots. Believe it or not, just a few games left. There's still no teams who've clinched in the East as far as the playoffs are concerned. So Philly and Cincinnati have the best chances of doing that today. Of course, that huge Cincinnati-Columbus game kicks off in about an hour and a half. New York City had a chance to clinch this weekend as well, but they lost earlier today. Their wait continues, and talked about it with that Cincy-Columbus game. Columbus has a chance to clinch as well. At least put themselves on the doorstep as DRBN drags back Shaq Muhammad. And he will not escape without picking up a yellow card. Second time that New England's been forced to commit a foul in transition, and both times they have been booked, and that's about as clear cut as a yellow card.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card has been issued to New England Revolution 2, number 11, Gorkovic Darbian, in the 30th minute.
DRBN's yellow is confirmed. Of course, the other two storylines in the East, Toronto able to avoid elimination. They won, talked about that earlier, and Atlanta did lose. So that did put them on the chopping block, but some of the results elsewhere helped them out. So for now, they stay alive. As that's headed down, Weinstein is able to come up with that. One of the closer chances in this first half an hour for Orlando City. They do live to tell about it in the end. Diaz up ahead. New England not wasting any time. McIntosh spooning one over the top. It's cut out by Kochevsky. McIntosh keeps it in play. Maciel. Klein. DRBN. DRBN again, one-on-one with Muhammad. And doesn't have any space to work with, so Santiago Suarez is called upon. Souza. It's down the line. He receives the return just to the left of Richie Williams in his technical area. McIntosh down the line. Again, New England threatening here. Quick feed from Bulma. Nearly sat up nicely for Oliveira. And Orlando, after some battling for possession, are going to pick up a free kick. Solis battling through a couple of challenges. I think that'll lead us to a hydro break here. About 14 minutes and change plus stoppage time left in the half. It's been a very bright start for New England, that is for sure. Orlando have had, I should say, to do a lot of the defending so far. A few half chances for Orlando City B. And again, just to reiterate, Not mathematically a must-win for the hosts today, but it might as well be. Anything less than 3 points, and it opens the door for the teams below Orlando coming into the day to get ahead of them and potentially bump Orlando outside the top 8 in the East, which is required to make it the MLS Next Pro playoffs. So this really is a massive game for Orlando City B's playoff hopes. Again, New England have been eliminated, but they're trying to put away this road stretch without a victory and this winless stretch without a victory as well. Orlando again at one end have had the defending, but this was one of their better chances in this first half. Put it up into the mixture. Freeman was closest to it. Quite able to get enough on it to beat Weinstein, and Jack Lynn's had a couple of half chances so far. Sukata has been involved in a positive way in the attack for Orlando, which has been a pretty routine thing throughout the season. Imanol Almaguer, some solid service from a couple of the set pieces that Orlando has been provided in this half, but still awaiting the finishing touch. So both teams emerge out of the hydro break. It will be Orlando City B resuming the match in possession. Ball is clipped forward. Alex Freeman's in some space here for Orlando. He does well. Nudges it down for Muhammad. Kochevsky into the middle. Tried to find the head of Jack Lynn. Right idea. It's touched out for a corner. Kochevsky knows it doesn't take much for Jack Lynn to make an impact. Tried to just fit it in there for him and ends up getting a set piece out of it. Another attempt upcoming from Almaguer. Almaguer's ball in. Lynn was closest to it. DRBN tries to cushion it away. Shot is blocked. It falls for Muhammad. Great save by Weinstein. And the offside flag goes up against Jack Lynn. That ends the sequence. A great job by Orlando just to keep the play alive. It looked like DRBN was going to clear this away. I think that was Solis who kept it going, got his shot away. It fell kindly for Muhammad, and Muhammad is thwarted by a wonderful save from Max Weinstein. Down to his left, he parries it out of danger. That's the best chance Orlando has had. And Muhammad, so close to making it a dozen goals in his MLS Next Pro campaign. Now then, New England's turn. Maciel out wide. McIntosh. Centering pass, Maciel. He has options, including DRBN. It is Gavork DRBN. His shot is blocked. It nearly fell for Oliveira. Orlando City B gets it away. Sukata up the other end. His pass is too firm, and Weinstein is there. This portion of the match is brought to you by Walt Disney World, the most magical place on earth. About 8 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, Happy to have you along for the ride here in Kissimmee, Florida today. Still have 5 more games yet to kick off in Next Pro throughout the rest of today's action. Good ball in from Fry. Across the face of goal. Nobody there, though, in a white shirt. It goes back to Orlando City B. Three games kicking off in that 7 p.m. Eastern window. One at 8 p.m., Colorado and Kansas City for the nightcap up in Canada. It's Vancouver against the Town to finish out today's action in Next Pro. Of course, those 3 7 p.m. games are juicy as well. Cincy and Columbus always provides the fire and the passion. Miami and Philly has playoff implications written all over it, and St. Louis City have already clinched, but they're fighting for that #1 seed in the West against a desperate Minnesota side who's done well just to stay alive these last couple of weeks. We'll try to get another immunity idol, if you will, tonight to stay alive for yet another week. Here's Shaq Muhammad for Orlando. Forced to go back. Kochevsky is in support, as is Freeman. Alex Freeman marauding forward. Too many white shirts in front of him. Maciel and Fry stopping him, but Muhammad tries to go back and win it back, but in the end, he's penalized. It is a New England free kick. Ooh, and actually, slight amendment to that. I think there was a foul earlier in the sequence, not against Muhammad. Referee, I think, was waiting to see if New England would get advantage. They did not, so the original foul is actually what's been given there. Either way, it's New England possession. Near side, this is Santiago Suarez for the Revs. Eric Klein. Demario McIntosh. Maciel. It's going to be touched back into the path of Victor Souza. Maciel. Maciel was a big creative influence in the last game for New England. He plays a lovely ball in behind here. Chance to cross this into the middle, and it's too close to Mercado. Marcos Diaz was close by. Malcolm Fry as well. And Gavort Diarbian was waiting to see if it would go all the way through. And lovely ball in behind, and the cross wasn't too bad, but too close to the goalkeeper. Tsukada. Move it ahead for Orlando. Muhammad. Closed down by Malcolm Fry, but Orlando keeps possession. More New England pressure. Here's Muhammad. For Freeman. Freeman again. Lynn's asking for it. So is Muhammad. And he lifts it over the top of Weinstein's goal and out of play. And a goal kick for New England with 4 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in the half. Of course, Weinstein's already made a massive save already to thwart Shaq Muhammad. That was Orlando's best chance up the other end. Best chance fell for Marcos Diaz. It was a free header off a corner. He sent it over the top and out of play. That was very early on in the first half. Near side, here's Malcolm Fry. Klein. And assesses his options. Now Malcolm Fry tries to maneuver his way forward. Fry against Freeman. Faint penalty shouts from the New England players, not once but twice. Referee allows it to continue on. DRBN still with it here for the Revs. DRBN tries to fit in the pass. And it wasn't far away from getting on the boot of the arriving McIntosh. Another close call for New England. And they'll get it right back after a poor clearance on the far side. Look at this. This looked like DRBN was queuing up for the shot. He nearly finds McIntosh, who was a late arriving player. And if he had, surely New England would have scored the opening goal. The Revs try yet again. Maciel. Down the far side, another chance here, but it's going to skip past McIntosh. It's out for a goal kick. Orlando will try to play it out from the back. Klein gets it back from Fry and forced to go all the way back to Suarez. Oliveira out wide. McIntosh. McIntosh into the middle, headed away by Williams. Still time for someone to grab a huge jolt of momentum at the end of the half. New England have looked the more likely in this first half. Bulma. McIntosh. Lovely reverse ball from Diaz. And the cross into the middle soars over everybody's head. Goes out of play. It's a throw-in for Orlando. Encouraging signs for New England, but that was not the service they were looking for on that occasion. Line on the
fourth
turn.
official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 3 minutes.
We jump into 3 added minutes at the end of the first half. Malcolm Fry. New England's push for a goal continues. Maciel, more great service from him. It's kept alive for Bulma. Still Bulma. And he just boots it out of play. Well, New England have started to waste some of these late first half opportunities here. Don't want to rue those later. Orlando do manage to get clicking in the attacking third. Doesn't take them much to go full tilt in the final third. See it across multiple leagues, really, where road teams miss opportunities to score and they come back to rue them later when the home team gets cooking. Was there a hold there? The crowd certainly thought so. Muhammad continues on, and his cross was deflected. It did not manage to get to Jack Lynn in the end. Still a minute and a half left in the half here. Freeman. Kochevsky. Kochevsky again. That's a refresh of the possession. Back for Thomas Williams. Fry gets his head onto that. Orlando will settle for a throw. That ended up being a big intervention initially there. But Orlando still could have an opportunity here. Almaguer on the turn, and Eric Klein gets it away from him. Can New England break up the other end? This is Marcos Diaz. Seconds left in the first half here. Diaz. It's still Diaz, and his shot is blocked away by Kochevsky. And New England will get a last-second corner here at the end of the first 45. Oh, Marcos Diaz nearly went half the length of the field by himself on his way to goal, but his shot was parried out of danger to set up this corner opportunity. Well, again, another half where Richie Williams and his side can feel happy about it for the most part, but they don't have a lead to work with yet. From the corner, it was another free header, this time Souza going up the highest. That's going to be a free kick for Orlando, and it will be the last play of the half. Halftime here in Kissimmee, and I must say, New England were the better of the two sides. They had the better chances. Orlando had a big chance themselves, a Shaq Muhammad attempt that ended up being saved by Weinstein. But it's Orlando that really need the points. They'll need to hit the new heights in the second half if they are to claim a vital victory. But so far, so good for the Revs. We'll see if they can keep it up in the second half. Our score at the break is Orlando 0, New England 0. Now it's time for Michelle Montaigne to recap a busy match week 26 in this week's edition of The Report.
On to his left and cuts the lead in half.
Here's Pino through the middle. Other runners at the back post. What a goal!
For the first time ever, the report goes international. We join you today from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, in the Pacific Northwest. I'm Michelle Montaigne, guys. It's that time of the year where the games mean so much more. There are playoff implications in almost every match. The stars of the season are trying to cement their place in the postseason. So safe to say, there's a lot to be excited about. Today, we're getting you caught up on all things happening around MLS Next Pro, starting with the teams that get a chance to pick their opponents for the 2024 playoffs. North Texas SC became the first team to clinch a playoff berth. They currently sit at the top of the Western Conference standings. The team will be returning to the postseason following a one-year absence and will look to hold on to first place in the overall standings in hopes of hosting throughout the playoffs. But right behind them is one of the best teams in MLS Next Pro this season, St. Louis City 2. They are just 2 points behind North Texas, but City 2 actually holds the tiebreaker. And it is easy to imagine a packed City Park rocking in St. Louis throughout the playoffs. Now that being said, there are 4 games remaining for every single Western Conference club. As we look at the standings from third place on down, you can see that 3 teams are dead even in points, and only 4 points separate the 12th place Monarchs from the 8th and final playoff spot holders, Houston Dynamo Dos. One of the teams in that playoff hunt, the team that trains on this exact pitch, Whitecaps FC2. Vancouver is looking to clinch their first playoff appearance ever, and a big catalyst to their success so far this season has been head coach Ricardo Clark. The MLS great joined the club just at the beginning of last season, but they missed the playoffs last year. He shared with us the biggest lessons he learned from that first season in Vancouver and how it's helped him turn things around this year.
So many different unpredictable factors with the second team. So with all that, you try to, get as organized as you can going into the season, but also just be ready to adapt week to week, but even day to day, right? And integration is something we've sort of tried to evolve within the club and in the second team environment. And with that becomes a lot of unpredictability, right? I say within that, just growing in that role and growing in the development space and managing all that to make sure we're getting the most out of the players, I'd say is an area of growth for me through this year after learning from last year.
Now let's take a look at WFC2's remaining schedule. All their games will pit them against teams contending to make the playoffs. Their next 2 games will be at home versus the Town FC and Tacoma Defiance before they close out the regular season on the road against first the defending champs, Austin FC2, followed up with a game against Dynamo Dos.
A reverse ball, Rochester scores on the volley! Habrun off a slip, it's Taha, Habrun, he scores!
As this one's played centrally for Wabbery.
Back across, it's Calhera, my goodness! Sasak to the area, volley scores!
But while we continue our journey through beautiful Vancouver, Whitecaps FC2 continues their push for a playoff spot in the West. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference playoff picture has a completely gridlocked table right now. With just 4 matches remaining for most of these clubs, not a single one has guaranteed their spot in the postseason. This time last year, 3 clubs already had secured playoff berths. But right now, just 7 points separate spots 1 through 8 in the Eastern Conference table. Meanwhile, for a team on the outside looking in, one made a significant push in keeping their own playoff hopes alive. That team is Independent Club Chattanooga FC. Despite not having their leading scorer, Mehdi Wamri, available due to suspension, the Boys in Blue snapped Crew 2's 12-game unbeaten streak with a beautiful chipped goal by Jesus Ibarra. CFC is tied with Chicago Fire 2 with 38 points. Chicago currently has the final playoff spot, and head coach Rod Underwood knows it will take everything in order for them to get it.
At this point, we're just trying to pick up points, right? Trying to pick up points, trying to figure out, making sure that we get the points, keep ourselves in the conversation for the playoffs, and that's what we're really working on to do.
As we mentioned, Chattanooga FC snapped Crew 2's 12-game unbeaten streak, which is tied for the longest in MLS NEXT Pro history. Last year, Colorado Rapids 2 also had a 12-game unbeaten streak in the early part of the season, while Revs 2 accomplished the same feat in the latter part. 4 teams are currently tied for the second longest unbeaten streak with 10 apiece.
Action.
Well, if you don't know, now you know. MLS NEXT Pro is launching a newsletter. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you sign up for it at mlsnextpro.com/ you guessed it, newsletter. It'll keep you updated on all the latest news, such as our August monthly award winners. One team had an amazing month of August. Due to their collective team effort, Carolina Core FC swept nearly all of August's monthly honors. Starting with Team of the Month, since it is a team game after all. Despite a slower start to the season, Core closed out August with 3 straight wins, positioning themselves for a chance at a playoff spot. The contributions of captain Jacob Evans and goal-scoring additions from David Polanco and Joshua Rodriguez have turned the tide in High Point.
It's special for us to have won Team of the Month. The team's been working really hard. We think back to where we started and to where we are now. We've come a long way. We knew it would take time, but I think it's great for the morale of the team, for the morale of the coaches. It means that we're moving in the right direction. We're just going to try to keep pushing forward here and hopefully make a run for the playoffs.
But this turnaround wouldn't be possible without the player of the month, Core's Facundo Canete. The versatility of the midfielder, who's played as a center and defensive mid this season, in addition to lining up on the wing, has allowed Core to keep other teams guessing. With his recent run of form, Canete became just the second player in MLS NEXT Pro history to score a brace in 3 straight matches. Of course, some credit also does have to go to the guy in charge, Roy Lassiter, as he brings home Coach of the Month. After amassing only 2 wins through June 22nd, the fact that the former legendary MLS striker has his team in position to contend in the postseason is nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah, I'm honored, but first and foremost, it's my staff that deserves that. It's a complete staff. I wouldn't claim to accept this award without my staff. I got Amala Guevara, I got Donovan Ricketts, JC Martinez, Andy Williams, even Eddie Pope. I would claim to receive this by myself. These guys work really, really hard. We work together on every single thing that we do. And so they are equally deserving of this award as well.
Core rounds out their recognition with a co-goalkeeper of the month honor being given to Alex Sutton. He shares the Keeper of the Month award with Crew 2's Stas Lapkes. Sutton posted a clean sheet while only allowing 1 goal apiece in the final 2 games of August. Lapkes, meanwhile, made 16 total saves across 3 matches in the month. And last but certainly not least, Owen Anderson was named MLS Next Pro Rising Star of the Month. Anderson added 3 goals in August, including a brace that included 2 goals in 2 minutes in a 2-1 win over Colorado Rapids 2.
But it comes out for a long-range chance. Glides past one. Adam shoots. He torches the threads.
Santos to his left. Chirilla! And Chirilla might have the game winner in the 90th minute.
Joyner strides up, and Joyner scores. He went left again. Eddie Davis cuts back, and his shot hits the back of the net.
I think we can officially call this the year of the Rising Star. And I know it's early in our Rising Stars careers, but maybe one day they'll end up in their own respective Hall of Fames. Names like Eddie Davis and Mekhi Joyner, who are both in the top 5 of the Golden Boot race. Other names like Chase Adams and Stephen Chirilla, who have propelled their respective teams from Ohio to the top of the Eastern Conference standings. And of course, a name we all recognize, Kevin Sullivan, the 14-year-old who's already been named MLS Next All-Star Game MVP. When we look back on this class years down the road, this very well could go down as the best MLS Next Rising Star class in the history of the young league. Now, we just mentioned Joyner and Davis as part of the Golden Boot race, but as it stands now, David Porreba remains at the top with 17 goals on the season. Taylor Caleta and Mehdi Owamri are sandwiched in between Joyner and Davis for the 4th and 5th spots, respectively. From here on out, every match means more. Remember, you can catch them all on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or on MLSNextPro.com. I'm Michelle Montaigne saying so long from Canada. We'll see you again stateside soon.
Halftime here in Florida. Sean St. Jacques back here with you. No score between Orlando and New England. We'll get to the second half in just a moment. Recapping some of the big games we've seen this week. Huge wins for Carolina Core and LAFC 2. The latter of 2, of course, clinching a playoff spot. Tacoma clinched a playoff spot as well. That's a huge win for the defending champions Austin against in-state rivals Houston Dynamo 2. And coming up on Tuesday, Timbers 2 taking on Ventura County. Ventura County trying to close in on a playoff berth in the West as well. Well, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to highlights, stats, and the second half kick between Orlando City B and New England Revolution 2 on MLSNextPro.com.
Action.
Moments away from kickoff in the second half here in Kissimmee. No score yet between Orlando and New England. Chance here to recap the first 45 minutes of this one with our halftime highlights. And again, this game means a lot for Orlando City B's playoff hopes. It's a game they essentially have to try to stay on course for a playoff bid. But with that being said, New England have had the better of things so far. They've had some really good opportunities. Eric Klein here had a chance to get a shot away. That led to a corner. New England's had plenty of those. None closer than that. Marcos Diaz, free header, heading it over the top. Another chance for Diaz there. He spreads a shot wide of the target. Good strike here from Joshua Bulma. Even Malcolm Fry had his hands up thinking that was goal bound. It was flashed wide. And then there, a free header for Alex Freeman. It was saved by Max Weinstein, who made a couple of big stops for New England in the half. This was his biggest stop. Shaq Muhammad onto his left boot. Huge reaction save from Max Weinstein to keep it at level pegging. Then a chance here for Jacqueline. It just goes over his head. That would lead to a corner. And then Gevork Diarbian putting it on goal. It would just go wide, and McIntosh not able to get on the end of it. Look, their total shots 8-6 in favor of the Revs, who have 2 shots on target. Orlando City B, again, they're creating opportunities, but New England have had the higher percentage chances in the first 45 minutes to this point. Orlando City B will have to take it up a couple of notches if they are finally able to get that first ever MLS Next Pro win over New England. They did beat the Revs in USL League One play way back when. Sun starting to creep through the clouds here in Kissimmee as New England gets the second half started here on MLSNextPro.com. They are in their road whites. They'll be going from left to right. And again, Orlando City B are in their home purples here at Osceola Heritage Park in Florida. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us for this vitally important second half for Orlando City B's playoff hopes. Aleo Kalume is in pink. He's our head official. And it's a marauding run here from Malcolm Fry, who tries to cross that into the middle. And, well, very similar to the first half. It's been New England pressure. It leads to a corner on the far side within seconds at the start of the second half. New England had so many set-piece opportunities in that first half. Can they make one count and really start to put the pressure on Orlando here? Corner is taken short. Gevork Diarbian. First time ball is curled in, and Mercado gets enough on it to clear it away. It's not definitively cleared. It's picked back up by Malcolm Fry. McIntosh. His ball, it is dangerous, and the header is just a whisker wide of the target. I think that becomes New England's biggest chance of the match so far. It's a delicious ball played in by Demario McIntosh, and how close was that? Off the head, I believe, of Eric Klein. And New England, if not feet, inches away from scoring there. That's been one of the missing pieces, some of that more accurate service, and McIntosh pretty much put it on a silver platter. And again, Orlando having to absorb a ton of New England pressure here. They've had some chances, we talked about that earlier, but New England continue to be the more likely to find the back of the net here. That is going to have to change for Manuel Goldberg's side as the half continues. Challenge there was deemed to be fair. Orlando emerges with possession. Pushing a chase there, Solis will win a throw in here. The Lion Cubs are just looking for, well, a bit of a boost at the start of this second half. They've been a little bit flat-footed coming out of the locker room. Hold up play from Jacqueline. Solis for Petrasso. Petrasso gallops past a couple of challenges. He's closed down Good follow-up, not once but twice from John Solis. And Jack Lynn's into the penalty area here. He tries to play one across. It was cut out. And New England do clear it, but only to Solis. Solis plays it across, and it's not the best touch from Shaq Mohammed. That ball is played up ahead a little early. It was played over the top of Orlando City's back line, but Carlos Mercado was well aware. That's a lovely pass to put Orlando City B back on the attack. Lynn, touch up ahead. Mohammed stayed onside. Mohammed plays it down the line. Lynn's in the middle. Chance to maybe cross or shoot! And the opening goal arrives! What a finish from Alex Freeman! And Orlando City B strut their way into a 1-0 lead at long last. It's Alex Freeman's 7th goal of the season to go along with 7 assists. Gets past the first challenge. Jack Lynn lost his balance in the middle. Smart play by Freeman to go for the shot, and his dance moves aren't half bad either. Orlando City B, against the run of play, has the lead. Once again, New England are sucker punched here. I think Richie Williams would be happy with the way they started the half. But we told you it doesn't take much for this Orlando City B attack to click. And it's a fantastic finish from Alex Freeman. And right back up the other end, Bulma's cross. He's caught by Mercado, and Orlando retains possession. Well, we're getting towards the part of the season where every moment, every goal, every momentum shift can matter. That's a huge moment for Orlando. But off the pass there, it's a potential giveaway. In the end, Diaz not able to catch up to it. In the next sentence, something can happen just like that, but Orlando will just get a goal kick in the end. Huge moment, and maybe some of the pressure lifted off of Orlando City's backs. Look at the live table. And that goal puts Orlando, who started the day in 7th, up to 3rd place. That's important because, again, likes of Columbus and Miami and Crown Legacy all have a chance to still catch them. And, well, my goodness, that is a clear shirt pull by Malcolm Fry. And he is going to be booked for that, no questions about it. Just ripping the shirt back of Shaq Mohammed. Not the first time Mohammed's been held up in the middle of the park, and it's one of the rare times where Malcolm Fry had a miscue. And he did not, I should say, want to let Mohammed lead a transition attack for Orlando. That's the 3rd player for New England on a booking for a very similar challenge. All 3 of the yellows have come in a transitional moment off a giveaway in the midfield. Fry, DRBN, and McIntosh, all on a yellow. Here's Mohammed on the turn. It's Almaguer back across, and it is just gonna slip over the line. It's a corner. And now our Orlando maybe sensing that time is of the essence to really put New England to the sword here. Orlando had their fair share of set-piece chances in the first half. They didn't make them stick. It's another chance to do that here. From the corner, Lynn heads it right down the middle, and Weinstein, he's able to hold on. That's the best chance Jack Lynn has had. Trying to score yet again in his next pro return. He's thwarted by Weinstein. And it took something special to beat Max Weinstein, that run and finish. Alex Freeman. Weinstein's been in solid form, but again, now New England have to come from behind. This is Bulma. McIntosh. Oliveira. It's kept alive for Klein from Maciel. Malcolm Fry. Gavork Diarbian. He stayed on side. Fry, Maciel. Again, New England continues to have a lot of the ball here, but can they find a reply? Suarez. More patient Revs build-up play. Fry. Forced back by Freeman. And New England goes around the horn here. Near side McIntosh. McIntosh has his pass picked up. Oh, it's nearly given away. Then Orlando City B do clear it only as far as Santiago Suarez. Fry cutting in field and slipping it through. It's a chance here for New England. It's cut back. Diarbian. Diarbian's forced back. That was a real chance for Oliveira. He didn't have the angle to shoot. Here comes a shot. Victor Souza, what a returning moment that would have been coming off of his injury. But it was tame enough for Carlos Mercado to collect. And Orlando move it upfield, 10 minutes into the start of the half. Great ball down the line. Freeman for Lynn. Oh! He skies the chance. How rare is it that Jack Lynn misses a chance like that? They're collector's items. 9.5 times out of 10, Lynn scores that. He misses the target. Wonderful build-up play. The ball to Freeman down the line was exquisite, and Freeman put it on a plate for Jack Lynn. But Jack Lynn is not somehow able to hit the target. There's a stoppage here because there is a player down for New England. It's become a little bit of an impromptu hydro break, and it does look like that New England will now make some changes here, and potentially multiple changes for Richie Williams. There's a few players now getting ready. Away confirmation, but this could be up to 4 changes in one go for the Revs here. Looks like Alex Moniz, Kobe Quinones, a couple others also getting ready. All right, so it is a quadruple change for New England. Alex Moniz, Kobe Quinones, Sage Kinner, and Liam Butts all coming on for the Revs. Cristiano Oliveira, Gavork Diarbian, Victor Souza, and Malcolm Fry all making way in a quartet of substitutions for New England. You do not see that very often. 4 in one go here. Could see a couple of them because Malcolm Fry and Diarbian both on yellow cards. And Moniz wants more for maybe some fresh legs in the attack to try to help turn things around for for New England. Certainly Butts and Monis capable of helping to change the tide as we approach the hour mark here in Kissimmee.
First leaving the game is number 5, Joao Souza. He's replaced by number 88, Sage Kinner. Next leaving the game is number
Now
11,
then, chance for New England through Marcos Diaz. Monis trying to flick it through. McIntosh gives chase. And the Revs will settle for a throw on the far side.
Malcolm Fry. He's replaced by number 41, Colby Quinones. And the final substitution
From the throw, touched away by Kibanguchi. It's not cleared yet.
He's replaced by number 9.
Butts is able to get on the end of it. He has 2 goals this season for New England and tried to find Joshua Bolma. Orlando still have to try to clear this. It's not dealt with yet. And Jack Lynn is able to find Luca Petrasso. Help alleviate some of this New England pressure off those 4 changes from Richie Williams. Kochevsky is able to get that upfield. Turn into space here. Oh, it's a decent ball down to the byline. Cross into the middle. Takes a deflection. It hits the side netting. It's out for a corner. And again, Demario McIntosh continues to try to make an impact here on that far side. Bolma will take the corner. New England in search of an equalizer. Ooh, the ball slips underneath the boot of Monis. So the corner was taken quickly. Marcos Diaz out to the far side. A Travella cross! It ricochets into the path of Mercado, who is able to hold on. Looked like Liam Butts was the target. In the end, oh, it actually was, I think, touched off the boot of Lynn, who took the sting out of any attempt on goal from Butts. And Orlando handles that defensive sequence. This ball is played up ahead, and Jack Lynn's in behind. Big chance, he scores! Well, he never misses twice, Jack Lynn, when he's given big chances like that. He missed a huge opportunity earlier, but he makes amends. And Orlando City double their lead as Jack really is back with another City B goal. Well, New England was so lethal at times in the first half, creating opportunities, but they weren't clinical, and Orlando have made them pay, not once, but twice in this second half. First Freeman, and now Jack Lynn. He just has a love affair with scoring goals in MLS Next Pro. Well, you can tell how much Orlando City B have missed his goal-scoring production. The organizations love the fact that he's made an impact, of course, with the first team. But he's given Orlando City B a huge boost in this one today, and of course in these last few games he's been a part of to help the Orlando City B playoff push. And that ball is put into the back of the net, but the whistle had long gone. It is a foul and a free kick for New England. And Solis, on top of that, was booked for kicking the ball away there and not allowing New England to get on with the free kick.
OCB number 49, John Solis, in the 67th minute.
Now, we told you that big missed chances for Jack Lynn don't happen very often, and he immediately corrects the ledger. New England up the other end with McIntosh's cross in, and Orlando will deal with it, and they will clear it. Now then, Klein brings it back forward for the Revs. Monis' cross is blocked. New England will settle for a throw, now having to come back from 2 goals down here. And the last time Orlando City B beat New England Revolution 2 was in USL League One, 2020. That's when that game played out. In MLS Next Pro, New England has never lost to Orlando City B. Well, it could happen today. And more importantly, it could provide a huge, huge lift in Orlando City's push to return to the MLS Next Pro playoffs. Talked about how Jack Lynn scored that big goal against Crown Legacy. Last time out was in the 51st minute of that game, and he's come up big again when Orlando City B need him most. Goal in this game for Jack Lynn, clocked in the 61st minute. And now with just over 25 minutes plus stoppage time left, Orlando City B trying to put this one to bed. And New England trying to avoid 12 consecutive road defeat. Now then, Shaq Mohammed. Mohammed strike. It was blocked. Ooh, or was it? The referee says no. No ricochet off a New England player at least. And it's a goal kick. Looked like it did take a deflection, but maybe that was off an Orlando player. Referee allows New England to reset the play. It's going to be a foul and a free kick. Solis is going to have to be a bit more cautious moving forward here. Last thing Orlando City B wants is for a player to get sent off down the stretch where they could be on the verge of really being in control of this one. This portion of the match is brought to you by your Central Florida Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional offers. Again, another reason that this game is so important. Orlando City B, again, New England already eliminated from playoff contention, unfortunately for them. Again, Orlando City B, after this one today, only have 2 regular season games remaining. Time being very much of the essence. They play Chicago next week. That's a huge 6-pointer in the MLS Next Pro playoff chase, and they finish the season having to go to Cincinnati. So 2 very tough Eastern Conference games remaining for Orlando against teams that will expect to be there themselves. Of course, Cincinnati still has a chance to potentially clinch a playoff spot today if they can take care of business against arch rivals Columbus. And that game will kick off in about 30 minutes time. On the other side of things for New England, they still have 3 games remaining, and New England still has a chance to play the role of spoiler here. They host Chattanooga next Saturday. Then they go to New York Red Bulls 2. That was the last team that they beat. That was back in June. And they finish the season at home, ironically enough, against the team that knocked them out at home in the Eastern Conference Final last season. Columbus goes to Gillette Stadium to finish off the regular season. And again, all 3 of those teams still fighting for the playoffs, or at least in Columbus's place, playoff position, but also playoff positioning in the top 8. So still time today, but also throughout the rest of the season for New England to make their mark. Time and space here for Marcos Diaz, but he's closed down by Kibanguchi. And Monis fouls Solis. It's a free kick. clearance is going to go into the crowd. We're in Kissimmee. Certainly enjoyed how Orlando have responded in the second half after it was a strong 45 to begin things for New England. We did talk about how Orlando City B was going to have to take it up a few notches in the second half. They have done so. Chance here for Marcos Diaz. Quick feed to get some space on the edge of the penalty area. It's out for a goal kick. Now then, time and space on the near side for Luca Petrasso. Sukada. Told Orlando City are going to prepare a couple of changes. We'll get to that at the next stoppage, in which Orlando will choose either to make the changes or not. It's going to be cleared up field. It's going to go out of play, and it's an opportunity now if Orlando wants to make their substitutions. To whether or not they can get the players there quickly enough. It does look like they're going to make two if they get the opportunity here. Referee will have them wait to the next stoppage. That's a giveaway. Alex Freeman. Touching it ahead. Almaguer on the turn. Not enough space, and it's cut out. Alex Moniz looks to lead the Revs up the other end. Moniz is going to be closed down by two Orlando players here, and will have to settle for a throw-in after the sliding challenge from Luca Petrasso.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and off the New England throw.
For Orlando City B in the 71st
Substitutions for Orlando City B are going to be made here. Yutaro Sukada and Jack Lynn are both going to be replaced. Wilfredo Rivera comes on for Lynn. And Yaler Valencia is going to enter for Yutaro Sukada. So job done for Jack Lynn. He scores yet again, now in back-to-back games in MLS Next Pro. It's just what he does when he plays in these games. We'll see if Orlando can make this two-goal lead stand up in the last 19 minutes plus. That ball is fizzed onto this near side, but again, good step in by Petrasso. And a push and a chase for Valencia down this near side. He keeps it in play. And Orlando brings some numbers forward in support. Petrasso enters to help out, but then it's forced all the way back. Again to Williams. Solis. Moves all the way back again, and this will be part of Orlando's game management down the stretch here. This portion of the match is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Valencia wanted to take the throw in as soon as it went out, but the referee is telling him that Orlando did not take it from the correct spot. So Petrasso will be called upon to get the ball back into play. And those finer details, like throw-in restarts, free kick restarts, delaying a restart, continuing to be cracked down upon, not just in Next Pro, but in many leagues around the world. Nice switch of play by Rivera, the substitute. Here comes Alex Freeman, who certainly made his mark on this one tonight. Already has a goal, and he's been heavily involved in many chances and plays a lovely ball to Rivera here. Back to Alex Freeman. Who sends it soaring into the palm trees. Oh, what a moment that could have been. It's exquisite build-up play from Orlando, but it was not the best of finishes in the end. Fresh legs of Rivera are making life difficult here on New England players trying to play out of the back. New England will have to settle for a throw-in. Just over 15 minutes plus stoppage time left. Here's Colby Quinones. Monis. Ooh, he was bundled over there by Solis, who again is on a yellow card. And the referee is going to use this opportunity to get both teams off to the far side for a second half hydro break. That's the second time Solis has been involved in a challenge since his booking. Has to be careful down the stretch. Don't want to give New England, from an Orlando perspective, a late lifeline here. Well, Orlando's goals have both come in the second half. Lovely bit of skill here from Alex Freeman. Gets past a challenge, and then with the angle against him, slots in the finish with his left boot. His 7th goal of the campaign. Gave Orlando City B a lead inside of 4 minutes at the start of the second half. Sliding and gliding. Give Orlando a 1-0 lead in the first 5 minutes of the half. That was a huge turning point because Orlando City B would score again. Lovely through ball in behind. And Jack Lynn, who missed a big chance earlier, wasn't to be denied at the second time of asking. Easy as you like. Jack Lynn just scores goals in MLS Next Pro. It's what he does. Orlando City B enjoying a 2-0 cushion. Jack Lynn's got his feet up now on the Orlando City bench after another job well done. He's had a really strong season, going up and down, but mostly with the first team, and he's come down again to help out Orlando City B in their hour of need. Both teams now emerging from the hydro break. It's really a last chance for New England to regroup here down the stretch. 13 minutes left to try to make a go at this. And Richie Williams, we're told, is going to use his 5th substitution. And we're told that it is going to be Olger Escobar who is going to come on. He has returned from international duty with Guatemala, and he will replace Maciel for the remainders. That's 5 New England changes, and barring a concussion addition to that, that'll be the last remaining substitution for Richie Williams, the last roll of the dice, as New England are trying to find a way back here in the Sunshine State. is a New England restart here to begin play. Out of the hydro break. And Escobar goes right to work. And clips a wonderful ball over to the far side. This is Colby Quinones, and he lost track of the ball with a firm first touch and commits a foul. He goes right through Alex Freeman. Good sportsmanship between those two, and well, Freeman felt the after effects of that. Another look at it. Great ball by Escobar, not the best touch from Quinones, and well, Freeman does get to the ball first and then gets taken out. Quinones is a little bit lucky not to see a yellow card for that. Turn into space down the far side, and New England get the pressure on it, but they concede the throw after the challenge comes in from Eric Klein. Now, Richie Williams talked to us about the issues that have been facing New England, and they've reared their ugly head again here, really. There's been a lot of promising moments. That's the number one thing on the bullet points, but they have had some lapses defensively, and they haven't been clinical in the final third. Orlando City have been, and they might get another chance here. Rivera gets on the end of the cross into the middle. One more for Orlando would surely seal the points. In the end, Orlando forced to go all the way back for a refresh of the possession. 10 minutes plus stoppage to go. And then again, remember, there's 3 games kicking off in the 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time window, so we encourage you to stick around with your MLS Season Pass, of course. For the 3 7 p.m. games, Cincy, Columbus, Miami, Philly, St. Louis, Minnesota, and then Colorado against Kansas City at 8 p.m. Eastern. Vancouver and the Town to finish it off at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have
a couple Orlando changes coming here.
Leading the game is number 23.
Well, Shaq Muhammad's day is done. For Orlando, another strong shift from him. Looks like Fabian Loyola is going to take his place, and then Tahir Reed Brown is going to come on, and I think that is going to be that for Luca Petrasso. So a couple of changes there for Coach Manuel Goldberg's group. Solis down the line here for Valencia. New England will clear it out for a throw. This portion of the match is brought to you by Body Armor. Reach for real. Body Armor offers real hydration with no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Offside flag is going to go up here against Orlando. It gives New England possession back. They're starting to run a little bit low on time. 8 minutes in stoppage to get 2 goals back and try to force a shootout with a late dose of drama. Time and space for Escobar. He feathers one out to the far side. Quinones back across. Tried to find Butts in the middle, not able to get it to him. Diaz tries to win it back, as does Butts and Escobar, but Orlando keep it, and Orlando clears it through Mercado. Klein up ahead for Moniz. McIntosh. Monis from Klein. Monis again, chopping it inside and curling one. It's a good acrobatic clearance away. New England will reset. Nice ball through. Oh, and a huge stop by Mercado. That was the big chance to get back into it. It was Bulma who gets denied, and Orlando come up the other end with Valencia. Loyola forced to slow it down a tick. Solis couldn't find Valencia. Monis up ahead for Marcos Diaz. He's dispossessed. Monis follows up and gives the ball away. That's the best chance New England has had in maybe half an hour in this second half. It was a wonderful bit of build-up. Brilliant ball through into the penalty area as well, and not for the first time. Carlos Mercado has come up with a big save. That would have made things very interesting at the end. Just a reminder that New England might be running low on time, but there's still time left for things to change. And they aren't over the line yet. They win the ball back here. Loyola. Crowd urging Orlando City B forward. Loyola slows it down and waits for more support. Solis from Almaguer. Valencia. Flag goes up. Flag goes up against Reed Brown, and that ends the sequence.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Orlando City B in the 86th minute. Leading the game is number 49, John Solis.
One more change for Orlando.
64, Manuel Coca.
It is going to be Solis who makes way as on that yellow card, and replacing him is Manuel Coca. Trying to finish this off for Orlando City B. That's their fifth and final normal substitution. Here's Klein. I'm going to give New England credit. They're not giving up. Can they get a lifeline here? Monis does well in the end. Wins a corner despite a good challenge coming in there. On the back end by the aforementioned Coca. And some defending to do here for Orlando City B with now 4 minutes plus stoppage remaining. It's taken short. This is Bulma. And Bulma's ball in is going to be caught by Mercado in traffic. Those moments are so huge to get the communication side of the game right. And Orlando City B handles it perfectly. Mercado corrals. Orlando stays in a strong position. Again, a ball down the line for Valencia to chase. And Valencia keeps it in for Orlando. He could seal the points. Oh, and Weinstein thwarts him. Great stop. Ball still in play. Rivera plays it across. It's Reed Brown, and he's dispossessed by McIntosh. Oh, the crowd thought that that was going to be the final blow. Another look, it was, at least initially, a hopeful ball up ahead, but the pace of the substitute, Yaler Valencia, wins out. Hands up all over the place. That's that, right? Nope. Weinstein keeps New England in with a small chance here. Valencia had picked aside. He may very well have scored. He went right down the middle, and Weinstein stood up to it. Max Weinstein has He's made some wonderful saves. Add that one to the list. Good challenge there from Kibanguchi to win it right back for Orlando. Freeman clips it down the line. Rivera has some space to work with here. It's still Rivera! And he skies the opportunity. Lovely gliding run through the New England defense, but he could not hit the target. Now then, the Revs come up the other end. We approach the 90th minute. Escobar. Escobar out wide, Quinones. Quinones down the line. Butts is in the middle, Monas is in the middle. Shot is blocked. And then it's gonna be Marcos Diaz. It was not far away from Mercado's goal. Now we know how dynamic Marcos Diaz can be. He was not far away from scoring there. Referee's gonna actually stop his own watch here because Mercado may have overstretched trying to get to that Diaz attempt. Well, that was a venomous strike from New England's leading goal scorer this season. Marcos Diaz has had some big opportunities tonight. That was maybe his closest chance of the second half. Mercado just needed a moment. Be a goal kick for Orlando as we await to see how much stoppage time there is going to be.
The fourth official has indicated that there will
Mercado
be a minimum of
plays
5
that
minutes
up
of added
ahead.
time.
We are into 5 added minutes at the end of this one. That is a number that New England would have wanted to hear. It's going to be another yellow card for Orlando for an unnecessary time-wasting tactic there. This time it is Valencia, the substitute, into the referee's book. Didn't need to
Ladies
get
and gentlemen, the yellow
involved.
card has been issued to OCB number 66.
Doesn't really help the cause for Orlando to do that. Here's Olger Escobar. He has space. His shot is saved by Mercado. It looked like it was going wide, but Mercado didn't take any chances. And it's out for a Revs corner. One that New England will likely have to score from. They'll take it quickly. Monas. The header is going to go wide. That was a chance for Liam Butts. He has had 2 goals already this season. He could not add to his tally there to give New England a route back into the game. Again, in the live table, Orlando began the day in 7th. They would go up to 3rd place for now. Again, there are games later on in the day that can impact that, but the good news is Orlando will likely, I believe it's certain that they'll stay in the playoff places going into their huge clash against Chicago next week. And that was the huge point, the importance of today's game. Win, stay in a playoff spot, and have a huge game against Chicago to deal with next week. Again, they finished the season on October 6th at Cincinnati. And depending on how results go, Orlando will likely have to get a result there as well to make absolutely sure. If not, they may need a little bit of help. We'll see. Long way to go before we get to that. New England still trying to come back. Orlando trying to finish the job. And Marcos Diaz is dispossessed. He's down hurting at the moment. Referee says it was a fair challenge. Rivera spinning past 2. He has help on the near side. Valencia. And Orlando put a bow on top of proceedings here. Loyola, was he brought down in the penalty area? Referee says no. Diaz up the other end. Bulma cutting and trying to find space. He's dispossessed, couldn't get it to Marcos Diaz. And it's going to be brought back, I think, for a free kick against the Revs, and that may very well be that. There's potentially 2 fouls to call in that sequence, and the referee goes back to the initial challenge and awards Orlando the free kick. That was Nabi Kibonguchi winning the free kick, and Mercado will send this ahead with just over a minute remaining. Valencia, again, time and space. Still Valencia. He bounces one in for Weinstein to collect. Up the other end, it's Colby Quinones. It falls again for Marcos Diaz, turning into space, trying to fend off a challenge. Klein out wide. Bulma. Bulma into the middle, and it was flicked away from Monis, who actually had a real chance at that. He's going to go out of play, and New England will get a corner in the dying embers. Monis's ball is clipped in. It's headed towards goal, and Mercado collects, and he's actually fouled as well. And that should allow Orlando to see this out. Remember, it's been going on 5 years since Orlando City B beat New England Revolution 2. That streak is about to come to an end. And remember, Orlando have never beaten New England in the Next Pro era. Well, now they have. And in doing so, Orlando City B takes another step towards a return to the MLS Next Pro playoffs. They beat New England by 2 second-half goals to 0. And they stay on track to getting back to the postseason with a huge, huge win on their home patch today. Goals from Lynn and Freeman lead the way. And we get a look now at our Adidas man of the match. It is Alex Freeman. His goal was a huge turning point in the match. Up until this point, New England were the better team. They were the more likely to score. But against the run of play, a fabulous Freeman finish was able to help turn the game around in Orlando's favor. And Freeman's 7th goal of the season is why he is our man of the match, presented by Adidas. Jack Lynn would score after that, and Orlando City B would do well to see the game out to finally beat New England in MLS Next Pro play. That's going to do it for our coverage here in Kissimmee. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. Once again, the final score is Orlando 2, New England 0. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at the MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. We say goodnight from Florida.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.